That doesn't make any. No, it is, isn't it? It is. Yeah. Loki's fighting the new event, Nick Fury, and the new Avengers that he's formed. It's that reality from episode 3, isn't it? At the end, and then Black Widow joins that reality.
Oh,
I've just clocked. Yeah, because Loki's taken over the world. So yes, that is that reality. Sorry, so that is covered, kind of.
One.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Fortune Theory for the finale of the What If series. Well, not seasons wise, because there'll be a season 2 that comes out next year, part of phase 4, still phase 5 of What If. If I didn't say that already. Episode 9. So yeah, here we
go. One later.
Oh god. Yeah. So this was basically the Avengers Assemble of phase 1. The Infinity War and Endgame of phase 3, the sort of just the culmination of the show. Episode. You've got Captain Carter, who's obviously established in the 21st century back in her multiverse timeline, who gets chosen by the Watcher to be like one of the main members of this superhero team. She's like known as the Guardians of the Multiverse, which is what they did in the comics. Obviously in the comics she didn't become Captain America or the equivalent though, so it would have been a different character. Same with T'Challa Star-Lord from his universe, when he goes to save Peter Quill from Ego the Living Planet, so that gets all tied up just in that first moment of segment. It basically kills Ego really quickly just by attaching a bomb to him. I was like, I thought he's gonna, surely they'd have to like destroy the planet rather than just detach the two.
It's just so sudden.
So it was just so sudden. It happened too quick. I think there was something a bit illogical about that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe like they just go on to deal with that later on. The moment at the end though, where T'Challa's like teaching like Peter Quill just how to like shoot the blasters. Peter Quill's just having the hell of a time. He just doesn't know what's going on. So great. Then what? Then they. And this is where I think they kind of went wrong, because this obviously originally was kind of, I suppose, was can't even speak without uttering now. This was meant to be episode 10 because it was meant to be a 10-part series. So I feel like there's a detail that's missed out, and it's regarding the Gamora as Thanos kind of detail, because there isn't really much context to that. It's just kind of introduced in the story. I suppose it's like an assist for like, it works in a way because there's not much to it that's left a bit it's just like the idea of introducing you to a new universe and making up for the merchandise that they released, which doesn't really have much context other than that. Originally I thought it was Gamora if she was Thanos, as in like, I don't know, Thanos was dead and then she became like the new version of him, but in terms of armor and weaponry, yes. I don't know. I'm assuming Thanos is dead in that universe and she's teamed up with Tony Stark, who's become like a Sakaar version of Iron Man, because they said that she survived the destruction of Sakaar, which I'm guessing would have been what the missing episode was. I'm assuming. I have no idea what that was really about. And then they Killmonger from episode 6, and I was like, that's a bit of an interesting choice, but okay. There was something about there was a metaphor regarding something he said in episode 6 regarding him and Tony Stark, where the way it works in the thing that they were referencing was that they would both die at the end of that selective story. So Tony Stark died, and technically he didn't die, but he's been like frozen in time in a pocket dimension, like pocket universe dimension, and is guarded now by the Supreme Doctor Strange, who obviously we saw again at the end of episode 8, and is back for this one, as is the Black Widow from that reality that introduced in episode 8. And she gets taken to a new timeline where Black Widow did die. Which for a moment I thought, oh my God, are they going to like make a live action version of her? And that's how they're going to bring like her back into the fold. Are they going to make a Black Widow 2 and 3 with Natasha Romanoff, but just from a different timeline? But obviously because of the whole
going based off of what they've done now with What If,
because of the whole deal, I suppose, with the with her like contract regarding the MCU films, and then Black Widow being kind of her last one, plus the lawsuit. I don't think they're going to like go that route anyway. So, and they kind of avoided it in what they were doing anyway, because they just took it to a new reality where the Avengers are still fighting Loki as a threat. So, obviously that's a different reality, because in the main MCU reality, Loki's dead, apart from the branch reality that's now in the TVA.
Yeah,
as we know of from the Loki series.
Well, whether or not they renew a contract or not, because the lawsuit's now officially like dismissed, isn't it?
Well, BBC News released something about that, and then I hadn't heard it anywhere else. So it was a bit weird to hear it from them, but yeah,
ended up
something's been sorted out regarding it now.
They both I think between Disney and her, they've basically like dismissed. They've come to an end basically. There's no more like.
Well, as of today, Black Widow is now free to watch on Disney Plus without paying the premium access. As is also Free Guy, which came out on there for free, no pun intended, a couple of days earlier. So, you know, if you're interested in watching those, if you're interested in watching those, and you don't have to, well, that's what annoys me, because I work at a cinema, and I have people coming in watching Free Guy when they could watch James Bond, they could watch Shang-Chi, they could watch anything but, you know, even bloody Paw Patrol, the movie that's out. You know, but they choose to go watch Free Guy, and I was like, well, yeah, Free Guy's a great film, but you can now watch it for free on Disney Plus. So why you can't? And like, I understand maybe the people that don't have Disney Plus, but like, you know, come on.
Even so, you can watch it for $5.99 for 1 month of Disney Plus.
Yeah, and that's considered like one membership. Like, whereas you can have like a whole family sit around and watch it with you. Yeah, rather than pay individual tickets at like big prices to watch it at cinema. But then I can't, you know, disencourage my job. So yeah, do come in and watch it. So, yeah.
I don't know why people don't just go home.
Before my manager watches this and says, you're fired.
You need to promote going to the cinema.
Promote my work. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like that guy who does that now. So, but you know.
The reason we do go to a movie theatre is for the cinematic theatrical experience. That is why it costs like £10 at least for a cinema ticket, unless you're going to one of those independent like 3.50-ish places. But
like we did when we went to go watch Bond at
Plaza Cinema chain. Like, there's only like 3 or 4 in the country. They are amazing value. But most cinemas, Odeon, Cineworld, you know, regular prices like AMC and everywhere else in the US.
If you want to see that first edition of our segment called Carcast, then there'll be a link in the description below for that. Or or above even.
Your corner, top right corner.
No, your corner, because no one wants to see your face. I'm joking. I love you, really.
That one up there. There. Click it. Click it. What did you drop?
Envelope. I don't know why I kissed it.
Brilliant.
I don't know. Content, I suppose.
But
right. What else was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted?
Well, no, we were on about the fact that like we went from Black Widow being like the end scene with that, and it going to cinemas, and it now being free on Disney Plus. But overall, what if
they'll make a sequel to that? But it would be with Yelena Belova's character, Florence Pugh's character, Yelena Belova. Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful. Yeah, sorry.
Why did you do that? Fair enough. But that's brilliant.
Oh, well, who else was in it? Oh, Party Thor. Oh my god! When the Watcher came to like grab him down because he wasn't paying attention because he was fighting all the Ultron sentries, it's just his scream. I was wetting myself. It was even better than the one he did in Ragnarok. Cut to that bit of you putting that scream in from Ragnarok during me saying "put that scream in from Ragnarok," and
what is it?
You go back over this when you finished and you'll find out. It's nothing. Wow. I feel good.
I tell you what, they managed to get a funny Thor scene again, because the Thor episode had its comedic moments. The Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Or as you like to call it, the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Yeah.
But it was the moment that they like gotta leave the pub was hilarious. In this one.
Oh yeah, and he gets like sucked out.
Like, well guys, it's lovely to see you, but I'll see you next time. It's brilliant. But
who else was on the team? I feel like they're missing someone. There was Doctor Strange, which I kind of mentioned.
Black Panther, Killmonger, there was
Captain Carter.
T'Challa, Star-Lord. There was Thor,
Peggy Carter's Captain Carter, T'Challa Star-Lord.
bad Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, and
there was no one from episode 3, was there? No. Wait a minute. No. Okay.
no.
Because I thought they didn't cover the reality in episode 3, unless that's what the Black Widow reality was meant to be. But that doesn't make sense because she was the only one not to die, wasn't she? Or was she? That doesn't make any. No, it is, isn't it? It is, yeah. Because Loki's fighting the new event, Nick Fury, and the new Avengers that he's formed. It's that reality from episode 3, isn't it? At the end, and then Black Widow joins that reality. Because Nick Fury is quite close to Black Widow in that reality, isn't he? So he's not the one, you know.
Oh,
I've just clocked. Yeah, because Loki's taken over the world. So yes, that is that reality. Sorry, so that's covered, kind of.
One.
Obviously, got Doctor Strange from episode 4. The evil, the kind of like redeemed evil, Supreme Doctor Strange Supreme, evil Supreme, whatever he goes by, evil Sorcerer Supreme, Stephen Supreme, something. I don't know. I can't remember his technical name. Got the zombies from 5.
Huge amount. They used it.
Yeah, they managed to
What I find hilarious about this is that basically Doctor Strange is the one with the most physical power, and everyone else is just sort of like helping to kind of preoccupy Ultron, so that he's too busy to then try and take the hits that Doctor Strange gives. Like, because Doctor Strange. Or what is his name? Doctor Strange.
I don't know. There's merchandise with his official name on, as in like his version of the character that I don't know what it is. If you know, let us know in the comments.
Because he gave them all the protection.
Yeah,
when, like the whole.
That was cool as well. Like if they don't create action figures with like the sort of magic sets of armor on them,
it'd be like see-through plastic with
see-through see-through orange like plastic.
Mm.
That you've got toys right there. Come on, guys. There's so many things you can do with all this stuff. Come on. Like, they got to release an Ultron toy as well with Vision like in the stones in his chest and the blade. Like, come on, you don't bring in a character with a weapon unless you're gonna make a toy out of them. Come on, like there's so much you can do with that. I can't wait to see all that, like especially in Lego form. That'll be awesome. But that's just me.
Yeah, and watch. This is the playlist to
to all the What If episodes for everything.
And
is there anything else
as well?
Anything else to add at all?
It's kind of been the ultimatum of the series, really, bringing every best new What If character of the MCU together into this final episode. We're not going to get,
because it's the finale. There's 2 things that I want to point out. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
one being obviously the actual end credit scene, which they obviously do for all Marvel stuff, and that being obviously Captain Carter joining Black Widow back on that ship from the opening of Winter Soldier. By the way, I would like to point out that she's wearing her version of the stealth suit that Captain America wore at the beginning of Winter Soldier, as well as the shield.
We reached that point.
Yeah. And they have that kind of point, which I'm curious about. There's 2 things, and this is the first one, and they're both Nexus events. No, sorry, not Nexus events. Absolute points in time, as the Ancient One references in episode 4 to Doctor Strange, which is where I'm getting at. Because my first point being, are Peggy and Captain America, and Peggy and Steve Rogers always meant to be together? Is that a absolute point in time? Because obviously it happened. The 2 ended up getting together at the end of Endgame after being apart for so many years. And obviously in this reality, Peggy's found the Hydra Stomper with so-called Steve in it as well, which is obviously the reference to Steve being in there as well. And that's meant to not spin off for season 2 for What If. That's not meant to spin off into season 2 of What If, but a new series with her character, which I'm guessing will still be animated because Marvel is setting up their own animation studios, which is obviously will have content still MCU related.
So we're
in it,
getting
but
more What If.
we're getting more animated shows.
Yeah, we're getting more,
just because they're quicker and easier to make, and also this one was quite visually pleasing as well, and a lot of the areas are very symbolic to the live action counterparts. Saves them money having to recreate sets. It's quicker to make as well, but obviously they're not going to do that for everything. They'll only do that for projects like this sort of thing, and they'll probably stick to just these characters as well. So that's why we will get a What If season 2 again animated, but also that's unless that scene really is a just cliffhanger to that. From what I've heard, they've been talking about doing a Peggy Carter series, so I'm guessing a Captain Carter series, and they will incorporate the character into live action work as well, which will be great because you'll get to see Hayley Atwell and buffed up and wearing the Captain Carter uniform, and it'd be like, because we're Brits, it's like really, it's so cool when you get to see like a British superhero, because it's like much more inspiring than just seeing all like Americans or get superhero titles and characters all the time. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
I just feel
sense of home.
That's why I'm really happy that
like, costume and.
That's why I'm really happy Marvel brought out the Union, which is a new comic book series, which is a superhero team, like UK superhero team, which I think is awesome. They've got a little 5 mini series of that's out now that you can buy from your local comic shops. They also make an appearance in the King in Black storyline regarding Null, who's the king of the symbiotes, which is a Venom reference, and obviously got Venom Let There Be Carnage coming out soon, so it's all relevant, isn't it? Yeah. A little in between his reference there. I do apologize. Yeah. But yeah, the point being, because of the absolute point in time, Ancient One references in episode 4 that Christine Palmer's death is an absolute point in time. I don't think it necessarily matters when it happens, though. I think it's just like, and they're not referring to like just death of old age, but the fact is that she has to die roughly around that time.
Right.
So I'm thinking it might be a bit too much of a giveaway if they do it, unless they just mean it in the context of obviously that show and all the branch realities in the multiverse. But does that mean she might die in Multiverse of Madness? Because obviously she didn't die in the first movie, because she never got in the car. Because in the main movie, in the car, she wasn't there. It was just Doctor Strange. But in all the branch realities in What If, like she's died in all of them, in all the different multiverses, all the different versions. In that one reality anyway, she's died. So I'm guessing, I don't know if it's just an absolute point time in that just one single reality or in any of them. I don't know, but I'm wondering I feel like it would be too much of a giveaway if they did do it. But at the same time, I don't think people are really thinking about it or talking about it. But it's the idea that if it is an absolute point in time, does that mean she could potentially get killed off in one of the next Doctor Strange movies, perhaps in Multiverse of Madness? Considering the movie, like she's in the movie, but because of what the movie is and who's in it, as well as her, she's not going to play it. I don't think she's going to play as crucial a part as she did in the first one, because she's going to be even less relevant.
Yeah.
Shut up. That wasn't a reference. That's
Anytime you use the word relevant.
Anytime you use the word, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on.
If you're listening still to this point, even though this is a comment more suited for episode 4 of this series, then let us know in the comments. Well, if you have listened anyway to this point.
You want
free world? I lost myself there. Yeah, free world. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover.
We've been going about 18 or so minutes, so pretty well covered. Unless you can think of anything. I'm mind blank on the subject. It was a pretty good episode, and the ultimatum of What If, basically.
Well,
together.
There's more scenarios that they can do, and obviously that leads into
in a way.
It's really unlimited. Other than the only limit they've got is kind of what the studio does and doesn't want them to do.
Exactly.
Because they've been talking about doing live action Captain Carter. They've been talking about doing live action zombies. I understand why it's a bit easier to do it in that medium, because it's the same kind of reason as why Venom's like R-rated, because it's just very like gory and very like, well, the symbiotes are very scary. So to the average audience. So the average young audience, understandably, pardon me. So yeah.
But
I'm going to get a cappuccino, even though I hate them. And thank you for joining us in this video. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Get some.
Surfshark. Brilliant. Well, it just every time. This episode is sponsored by, I don't know, like
if I hit £1 for every time I'm now going to say in every video.
You know, we need some random stuff.
You know,
this episode is brought to you by TK Maxx or some shit.
What's a shit clothes brand?
I'm joking. We love you. Please sponsor us.
Please don't. Joking. You can sponsor us if you want.
This episode is sponsored.
We'll sponsor you.
This episode is sponsored by Stanley. Tape measures and more are available. There we go.
It's not the real Stanley though, is it? It's not relevant, is it?
Not relevant.
It's not relevant, is it?
There we go. It's the end of what
if you want us to cover anything more, we'll do a 10 for the lost episode that we never got to see. That's going to be part of season 2 inevitably anyway. No reference to Thanos there. And just by that word. And we'll also do that for the sake of answering any questions, doing any Q&As. We are thinking of doing a Q&A at some point. If you guys going live for that, if you guys are actually interested and want to be present for that, then let us know again. And we will do another bonus next week, possibly, if you guys are up for that. If you want us to answer any of your other questions on our thoughts or theories on this whole series in general. I've also started watching Squid Game, so if you'd like us to talk about that episode by episode or season by season, then let us know in the comments as well. I've watched the first episode. Patrick, what the hell are you doing?
I noticed there's a spider inside my diffusion panel on my light. I can't show anyone. But it's where I just noticed his legs inside the diffusion panel. Somehow, I don't know how the fuck he's got in there. Anyway, yeah. So we might.
Whilst Patrick goes to let him out in the garden, if he can be man enough to even go near it, then or him or her, then yeah, we'll see you on Friday for
Infinite, most likely. It's on Prime. Just came out on Prime in the UK.
Infinite. So yeah.
And then maybe we'll talk about like Squid Game as well if we've watched. Well, Ollie's watched the first episode. If we've seen that by then.
If we've seen more of the episodes by then, I've watched episode 1, so I can definitely talk about that. But you can't though because you haven't watched it yet. So
yeah. There we go.
That's available on Netflix now. If you want to watch that, season 1.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Toodles.
Cha cha la.
I just got that. Cha cha.
Brilliant.
All right, I'm going to go down some coleslaw. I'll be back in a minute.